Hi folks, it's been a while. I've got to fix this carburetor on this Briggs and Stratton Lawnmower. I think the primer bulb's gone. Let's have a look how to fix it. Right, well, this is our own personal lawnmower, which we've had for probably 16 years. I do very little to it. I did service it in the summer, I think, and I've done the video on that if you look back in my lawnmower videos. But problem we've got now, it wouldn't start the other day. We were trying to do the last cut of the year. We're now at the end of November. We just want to give it one more cut. I thought the last cut we done was going to be the last one, but obviously it weren't because of this unpredictable weather we've got. Nice and warm, plenty of rain, grass grows. Anyway, cut a long story short, we're going to try and fix this. I did notice there was a problem with the, I think it's the primer bulb. Lucky enough, I have got a replacement bulb. I'll show you how we're going to fit that in a moment. But let's have a look and see what the symptoms are. First of all, it obviously wouldn't start. Normally, how you start these lawnmowers is you give the primer bulb on the front of the carburetor, probably about 4 or 5 pushes in, and that then primes the carburetor to when you pull over the engine, it shoots fuel straight into the cylinder, and if you've got spark, the engine fires up. But this has got fuel in the carburetor, and when we press the primer bulb is not shooting fuel into the actual carb. Let me show you what I mean. Right, so as you know, this is off of the Briggs and Stratton type engine, like the Briggs and Stratton Classic, and it's got the typical push to prime bulb there, which you prime the carb. Now what should normally happen is that when you push that in, looking down the venturi there, you should see a jet of fuel go from the back of the venturi into that way. Can you see that spout there sticking out there? Well, when I push that in, if you've got fuel in the tank, you should see a jet of fuel squirt in towards the back of the chamber there, and that is the fuel that goes into the actual engine. Now, 2 typical symptoms you can have with these is, if you look there, if I push that in, normally that comes out at a reasonably fast rate. Now, as you can see there, it's coming out pretty slowly, but that could mean the deterioration of the actual plastic itself, or it could be the other thing, which is in the bottom of the carb there, you've got a long spout that goes into the actual carb, and on the end of it, it's like a tube that goes into, if I move that back, you can see there's a tube that goes into the carb, near enough to the bottom, and on the bottom there's a little filter, a little bit of gauze. Now sometimes that can get blocked up, and if that gets blocked up, that can give the same symptom, pushing in, and when you let go, it comes out slowly. And what happens is that the fuel is blocked in the carburetor, in the actual fuel tank, due to some crap in the fuel tank. And what you would have to do then is to undo the 5 screws that surround the top of the carb, take the carb off. You'll see a gasket and a diaphragm underneath there. But what you're looking at, when you pull this carb off, you'll be looking for the little tube that goes into the tank, and underneath it there'll be a bit of gauze. You just want to clean that. But in this case, as I say, I know because I've changed the diaphragm and gasket in this sometime within the last year, so I don't think it's going to be that. And what I can see there, I don't know if you can actually see there, the primer bulb looks to have a little split in it about there, just where my fingernail is there. And this is the other symptom, where you've got a damaged primer bulb there, and in the same breath, that will not be sucking in fuel from the fuel tank. It will be sucking in air from the little split there, and that will cause the same symptom of fuel not being able to access or exit from the fuel tank up via the internal mechanism and then shoot into there, because we've actually got a hole in the actual primer bulb. Now, as you can probably see here, I've got a replacement part. This isn't a genuine Briggs and Stratton one, and it comes like this, and as you can probably see there, that one springs out near enough instantly, as it's a brand new one. So if you've got the slowness like this, that can be due to an old rubber that's probably perished or whatever, and it's not as flexible as it used to be, or it can be that it's not got the it's got a block filter stopping it from coming out at the normal speed. But we can also see that we've got a split in there, so we need to replace it, as you can see there. Now again, these can be tricky. You've got to sort of lever this outer cover off. See there, I'm just pulling that off. You may or may not have the outer cover on there, as you can see there. And then what we've basically got, if you look at the new one, this one basically, you've got to push the sides in there. I'm going to try and do it on the camera if I can. Again, it's not going to be very easy for you to see, I don't think. But basically what we've got to do is to prise this out by literally pushing that little in at the side, and sort of you've got to prise it forward as well as push it forward. So you've got to push in and literally try and pull that inner plastic piece forward just by teasing it as you go. So as you can see, there's a little lip on there. I'm just putting the screwdriver behind that, pushing in, and then just sort of drag it forward. And you've got to try and drag it forward, basically, past that lip. Now the old ones will probably be stiff to get in, and you probably want an old a little screwdriver, probably a bit smaller than the one I've got here, and just sort of tease it forward. You may want to get some pliers in there as well, and maybe just gently, as you can see petrol coming out there already, look, you can see where it's been split. I'm not having much choice, so I'm just going to hold that there and just turn, and it's starting to pull it forward, the little clip. In this case it's pulled the actual bulb through, but now I've got access to the plastic clip from the inside now. It's dragged it forward enough just for me to push it forward from both sides, as you can see. There we go, just push it forward. And I may be able to just pull it forward now, or just drag it forward, as you can see there, look. Can you see that come out? There we go. So just note the way it's coming out, and make sure that your original one, or the existing one going back in, looks exactly the same, and just line it up so that you can see the way that it's going. So I know it's going in that way, and I also know that the bulb goes behind it, as you can see, just behind there like that. That's the position of the bulb. Just make that go in like that, and you may want to just give that a little bit of a clean around the internal edge there, just to make life a little bit easier. So it goes back in cleanly, literally sits over that. So push your primer bulb on first, make sure that actually goes over, and then you want to put your clip back on, making sure it goes in evenly if you can. And then just literally, there we go, one side clipped in, and the other side's clipped in, and as you can see there, everything's gone back in place. Now I can see now straight away that that's pushed in. Now can you see how that's operating? And I can actually hear the petrol sucking up now from the tank. And if I tip that forward, there we go, can you see the petrol? So now look at that jetting through there. So that is now operating correctly. Primer bulb's been changed, and that means we've basically solved the problem. Right, so I've got the old air filter here, and as you can probably see, that's in a bit of a state as well. So all I'm going to do here now is just literally change the old air filter there. I've got a brand new one, and these pretty cheap anyway. I could clean it, but we've never had a new one in here apart from this, so I'm going to treat it. Just pull the old one out, plunk the new one in, put the insert back in, and whack the cover back on. Right, there you go, brand new air filter. So I'm just going to go outside now, put this tank on, let's give it a pull start, see if it starts. It's really not very nice out here at the moment, but as I say, I've not been too well recently. I've got a chest infection. I've had it for the past 2 weeks. It's not really cleared up, but this week I've only been on the antibiotics for 2 days. It seems to be clearing up a bit, or getting a bit better anyway. Right, so basically what we got here now is the carb, and the great thing is you only need 3 tools to put it back on. In this case you need a 10mm socket, and you need a 13mm socket, and also a screwdriver to put the air filter back on. Or you could be using a 1/2 inch socket or a 5/8 socket if you've got the Imperial model. It's exactly the same thing, just the Imperial version of the metric sockets that we're using. So anyway, I'm going to quickly whack this back on, and literally all you got to do, if the rest of your carb's in order, is just literally tip the carb forward, hook on the governor spring, push the carb back onto the inlet tube, which should just slide on lovely. Put on the breather tube, and then the 13mm bolt goes through there. That's the one that holds the carb to the main part of the engine, and literally just zip that up. You're seeing this in real time just to let you know how simple this job is to do. Basically, again, we haven't had to drain the carb down or anything because I know I've got decent fuel in there. I'm not nipping that right the way up yet. I'm just going to put the 5/8 or 10mm bolt back in at the front on the bracket that does the throttle, and literally that again is a simple enough job to do. This one I will start to tighten up now. There we go. I'll have to give myself a decent socket. This is my spare second set. Right, that's that one. And just do that 13mm up there, not very tight, and do that like that. Make sure that the linkage is running free. A lot of people, when they put the car back on, it doesn't run free and this little governor arm gets stuck. And then all I'm going to do then is to put the air filter back on. Just sit that on there and literally just tighten up the air filter, pinch tight, like thus. Right, I'm going to put this on the deck now. We'll give it a full first pull and prime the carb obviously, and we'll see if it starts. Let me move the camera back a bit. Right, come out of the way, Barney. Put them over there. I'll put the plug lead back on, I forgot that. Right, let's get this back on the deck. Put that way. There. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, come out of the way. 5, 6, I'll give it 7 pushes there. Pull the handle up. Right, if it don't start first time, give it another few pushes. Right, let's try that. There we go. Job's a good one. Ciao. Yeah. Here, Sharon's come out here, look. Baby, come here. Come here. I'm not well, look, tell the people I've been not well, have I?
Oh, yeah, we know it.
And I've managed to fix your lawnmower. All right, did you see it? It only took me about 10-15 minutes. You'll see it on the video, what I have to go through.
In fact, you shouldn't even be out here working on this in this damp
No,
fog.
I'm a bit chesty, baby.
So you better get in. So
Yeah.
we'll say bye-bye.
Time now, it's 4 o'clock, baby. I'm ready for my next antibiotic.
Get in.
And that's why I've not been doing videos. I've not even finished Jimmy's unit off yet, by the way, but hopefully I'm going to get them little jobs done this week. I know a lot of you are waiting to see the Reliant Regal. I should have the axle back on and all the wheels back on now, so that I can start rolling that about and work on either the engine next or the bodywork. So keep your eyes open for that. We are coming up to Christmas now. We are trying to wind down and enjoy ourselves.
I already told you that.
You'll be able to cut the grass now, baby.
I ain't cutting it now.
You can what?
Poke it.
Poke it. I've done this for you.
I really appreciate fixing an old tatty lawnmower.
Sharon, it's 16 years old and it's still going strong. Just like me. Right, okay, I'll see you in a minute. Put the kettle on, baby. I'm coming in now. Well, that's all I'm going to do today. As I say, I've just been getting over this chest infection. That's why you haven't seen any videos. As I say, but Jimmy's doing well with his unit. He's pulling in a good few jobs. Now check out his website if you want to have a look, or join his Facebook page, JBS Auto, or JB's Auto Body and Paint Shop if you're on Facebook. And it's JBS Auto Body and Paint.co, is it .com? I think it's .com if you want to check out the website and just see the few little jobs that he's been doing in his unit there. Anyway, that's me out for this one. It's only a quick video, and I'll see you again in the next video. And until then, bye for now. Come on, baby. Cup of tea for your husband.